What's up, YouTube? This is your host, King Gio. I want to say good morning to each and every one of you, good afternoon, or good evening whenever you see my video. This video is going to be in memory of downed police officer Ella French. Ella French became a police officer in Chicago in 2019, and he was just gunned down yesterday for a traffic stop in Chicago. My condolences go out to the French family. Here at King Geo, we don't condone violence at all. Especially when it comes to police brutality, violence, when it comes to child abuse, pedophile, elderly abuse, none of that. We take that very serious. And I gotta say, when you see that an officer gets killed because of a traffic stop, it just tells you how society is, and it just tells you how corrupted officers have put the lives of young women and men like Miss French in the line of duty. And I say this because there were a time where you respected a police officer. There was a time where police officers had that respect. Or you're a police officer, so either you're a legit person, you're a good person, and stuff like that. And that throughout the years has diminished. And why has it diminished? It has been diminished because you have officers who abuse innocent people, and then you have these citizens who say, you know what, I am not going to listen to what the officer is going to say, so I'm going to do my own thing because I have my rights. And they don't respect officers. And some officers, to be honest with you, don't need respect because they are so blatantly rude. They have no regard to human life. You just saw earlier on, yesterday, I saw a video where an officer kicked an old man, 58-year-old man, to the neck. He told the old man to get on his knee, but the old man had pins in his knee, so he was taking his time. You got pins. You're 58 years old, and he just kicked him in the head. So those are the kind of things that happened. The young lady who was beaten up, I think in Las Vegas or where it was, when she had mental problems, she was schizophrenic. Officers beat her up. You saw a video where she said she wanted you to listen to music, and you hear the officer says she's saying some incoherent things. So there was a problem with her. So you should have just called for ambulance. You should have called for backup, and make sure when ambulance got there, they could have safely secured her in a bed and taken her to a hospital and evaluated her. So these are the things that is happening in America, and this is why people say defund the police. And I want to get something straight. When it says defunding the police, it does not mean cutting down the police force. What it means is that instead of the police department getting all this money that they're going to spend it stupidly, they shouldn't be getting this extra money. That's what it basically means. You can never defund the police. If you defund the police, if you take away the police, what's you're gonna have? You're gonna have anarchy. I believe that we should hire more police officers. We should vet out those police officers that are bad. You should make a mandate that if you get a certain amount of civil citations, you lose your job. You should also, if you get one civil citation and you get one civil complaint, I should say, that should be looked into seriously. And there are officers out there that don't belong to be officers. They don't even belong to be in uniform. And it's kind of sad that this young lady, Ella French, had to lose her life for doing her job. If you're a criminal out there and you have a warrant out for your arrest because you did X crime, you should be clean cop. You should just go to jail because you did the crime. If you cannot do the time, then don't do the crime. And then when the officer is about to arrest you for something that you did do, don't get upset at the officer. The officer's doing his or her job. They are there to serve and to protect. You're the schmuck that wants to run away, that wants to get away, wants to be slick. You commit the crime, plus you want to get away. Okay, fine. So if you did the crime, you got away. Okay, but in that process, you don't have to kill an officer because they're doing their job. Same way an officer, when he shoots an innocent man in the back, there are ways that you can get a man done. You can shoot him in the leg, you can shoot him in the arm. You don't have to shoot him in the back. You don't have to shoot to kill, especially when that person's back towards you, and that person is not posing any threat to you. None whatsoever. Okay. There was an officer just the other day got found not guilty for beating up a person. Got found not guilty, but the videotape shows that he was guilty. You see, this is the society that we live in. This is the society that we live in. Okay, and it's a shame that an officer loses her life, or any officer loses their life over a traffic ticket. So regardless of whether you had a warrant or not, or whatever the case may be, that shouldn't have happened. So, I say to people, even if you see an officer down and someone's beating up an officer, always jump in. Doesn't matter what you have against that officer, or a officer. And officers, if you're out there, start taking sympathy classes. Have empathy for the people. Know when a person is disturbed. Know when if a person is speaking incoherent, know that there's something wrong with that person. So instead of going towards that person and handcuffing them, call an ambulance, let the ambulance come in, and then you can handcuff that person and take that person to a hospital. There's no need for you to beat them like you beat that Spanish girl, that she was schizophrenic. It's a shame. When will this stop? When will this abuse stop? It needs to stop. You're not going to get, you're going to have all these cops that are going to retire now. And you're not going to want, no one's going to want to join the police force because everybody's going to be scared. Not only going to be scared of getting shot at, they're going to be scared of being accused of something that they didn't do, or they might think, like, stuff like that. So you're just better off not becoming a cop. So my condolences go to the French family. I hope they find closure and they can move on. It's not easy. It's not really easy, the death of a family member, especially when it comes like that. But the three suspects are in custody. That's good. And I tell you, man, I'm advocating. I would advocate if they was to do a jail where everyone who commits a crime, a murder, a pedophile, a murder, they should just be taken to a jail and be locked down 24 hours a day. No light, have a cell. In that cell, they shower, they shave, and they don't see the light of day. There's no need for the death penalty. Just keep them there for the whole entire remaining of their lives, so they can think and go insane, or if they want to look for God, amen. But let them know, because the death penalty does not prove anything. The death penalty doesn't do anything. People say, eye for an eye. It doesn't do anything, because the death penalty was supposed to be made to deter people from committing crimes, from committing murder, and that has not happened. So I don't know what we're going to do as a society, but we need to get together. We need to get together when officers beat up black and Hispanics. We got to get together. Hispanics, you guys got to get down with the black movement, or movement of your own, because I see that Hispanics don't move as much as black people do. But we got to stick together regardless, and we have to keep on moving forward, marching forward, teaching our kids, that if a cop stops you, you just comply, because you never know what that cop's going through that day, and you don't want that cop taking in and out on your child. And a lot of people say, cops doing their jobs. That was an abuse. If he would have did this, he would have did that. But those are people the people that say that are the people that those things never happened to them. If you got the Ben Shapiro's of the world that says, there is no racism. Yes, there is racism. When they say, no, cops are doing a good job. No, they're not doing a good job. But it's unfortunate that this young lady, Ella French, had to lose her life over a traffic stop. And there are many cops out there who've lost their lives senselessly on stupidity. As same way as citizens who've lost their lives. Like that girl in Chicago with her boyfriend coming from the Puerto Rican parade, a fender bender, and the guy just took out the girl out, shot her, then shot the boyfriend. She died later. But this is called stupidity. It's really stupidity. Senseless acts of death, just senseless act. Period. And as a society, we need to change that. We really do. You're gonna have crazy people everywhere. No matter how, it can be 100 years from now, 20 years from now. That's not going to change until Jesus Christ comes. None of that is going to change. we can put a little bit of our thoughts and our voices, but it's just not going to change because people are people. That's who they are, and that's who they always will be. So my condolences to the officer Ella French, and all those officers. To salute to all those officers, men and women who are putting their lives on the line to save our own. All right, guys, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This is King G on the house.